Hey guys, and you're welcome back to Adapting Education. So today's video is about maths. Okay, so we are going to start, and so this video is for all of those. It's not particularly for a class or a grade. So whosoever is familiar or they have started the topic of simple interest, decimals, or fractions, or percentages, and all, it's really useful for them. Because right now in this video, we're not focusing on any grade. It is because we are trying to just recapitulate all the basics. Okay, so we are not going to go in complex problems of simple interest or profit and loss. What we are going to do is create a fundamental base for ourselves. Like if we create the base, if the base is strong, then only the structure would be able to stay still and strong. So it is really important for us to work on the fundamentals. So today that's what I'm going to do. So I'll be using this online whiteboard, and for this you can check my other YouTube channel, Tech Blitz. I've already shared this video regarding the same. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll just add a text box over here. Okay, so that says, so we are going to start with basics. Okay, so I'm just writing it as basics. Right, sure. Now, I want that whatever problems you're facing, please do write that in the comment section so that I can know that what ways we have to work with and how can we develop the fundamental base stronger. Okay. So first we're going to start with something really basic. They are what? Can anyone guess? Yes. So we are going to start with the basic mathematical operations. Now the basic mathematical operations are what? Let's just mark it over here. They are multiplication, they are division. Please bear with me if I'm going too slow as I'm drawing because I am not really familiarized with how to fast type in this. Okay, so these are our basic operations: multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Right? So this is number one, which we should know. Okay, the second point is we use these operations with what? We use them with numbers, right? So I just write down numbers over here. So we use these operations with numbers. Alright, so over here I pasted an image or an image, sorry. So this image tells us about the types of numbers. Okay, so there are multiple types of numbers. Let me tell you. First are natural numbers. Natural numbers are from 1 till infinity. Second are whole numbers. Whole numbers are from 0 to infinity. Then there are integers, positive integers and negative integers. Positive integers, let me tell you, through a number line. So let's say this is our number line. Okay, and over here we mark the 0. So this side goes our positive numbers and this side go our negative numbers. Okay, so the positive numbers, what would the positive numbers be? So positive numbers be 1, 2, 3, and so on, and the negative numbers would be -1, -2, -3, and so on. Right now, okay, so these were the numbers. Then we move to rational numbers. So what are rational numbers? So rational numbers are basically the numbers which can be expressed through the fraction of p by q, which are two integers. But the rule over here is that a numerator which is p is a non-zero number. Sorry, a numerator p and a non-zero denominator q. So q should not be zero, numerator can be. Now let's understand what are numerators and all. So numerators come under what? Numerators come under fractions. So I'll just erase the board. Hope you are noting down the things. Uh, yes. So just for your reference, what I'll do is I'll put this image over here. I'll create this sticky note and I'll add it over here, and I'll write what we have discussed yet. We have discussed numbers, we have discussed operations, we have discussed integers in which we discussed positive and negative, right? Now, what we are going to do is about fractions. So, while we were talking about rational numbers, we got to know about these two terms: about p divided by q, and p is a numerator, and q here is denominator. So, how do we represent a fraction? Is this. So, if I just take the example of p by q, this is how a fraction is written like. And in this fraction, the upper part is known as the numerator. Please ignore the handwriting over here. So this is known as the numerator, and the lower one is known as the denominator. Correct. So the numerator, so the rule in rational numbers is that numerator can be a zero, can equal to zero, but a denominator should be a non-zero number. This is how we write a fraction. So this is a fraction. Now, if we take a numerical fraction over here, if you put values to p upon q, let's say we take the values to be 2 upon, or wait, let's take it to be, yeah, so now let us take 20 upon 10. Sorry if there are double lines, let me just, huh, let's just make it again. Just a second. And we'll just erase this thing and go back to a pen. Choose this. Yeah, so we have 20 upon 10. So here denominator is not 0, but the numerator can be. Now, what we are going to do is 20 divided by 10, right? So if we simplify it, how can we simplify it? Both the numerator and denominator have 0. So the zeros can be cut together. Now 2 by 1 is equal to 2, right? So if it would have been 1 by 2, it would have been completely different. But 2 by 1 is complete. It's one whole. So it's one whole. Okay. Now we are going to understand the concept of um, uh, fractions much more uh, in a nice way. So I'll just move this up, and yeah. So now I'll write over here fractions. So we have fractions with us over here. Oops. Alright, so I'll just write over here fraction. Now, as I already told you how to write a fraction, now let us see how fraction can be converted into decimals. Okay, so now we are going to make it interdisciplinary, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to make it interdisciplinary, where we are going to like what do you say, we are going to uh, like relate or connect, we are going to connect a different things, like fraction is going to be connected with decimals, then we are going to do decimals to percentages, percentages to display to decimals and all, right? So we are going to make an interdisciplinary connection between these. Now if I take the fraction 2 by 10, now always remember this thing, that if your denominator, so I'll just write it over here, if your denominator is in 10, 100, let's just use this, just a second. Yes, so if your denominator is in 10, 100, 1000, etc., like any zero ending digit, but it should be in tens only, then if you are dividing, right? So dividing if dividing, the zero will move in front of the denominator, sorry, of the numerator. Now let me explain this one. It is saying that right now it's dividing, right? 2 is dividing, like 10 is dividing, 2 is 2 upon 10, 2 divided by 10, right? So 10 has how many zeros? Only one. So this zero will move over here. It will be 0.2, right? It will be 0.2 in decimals. And if we do it in fractions, then 10 comes in two tables, so it will be 2 1s 2, 2 5s are 10, and if you further divide 1 with 5, then the result will be 0.2, right? And if the same question is 2 upon 1000, then how many zeros are there in 1000? Three zeros. So it will be 0.0002. And if we divide it, if we want it in the form of fractions, then it would be 1 upon 500, and then you can divide it, and the answer should be 0.002. This is about division with fractions and converting it to decimals. Now if we are multiplying it, so if multiplying, then you have to add a zero. Now, what does this mean? This means that if we are multiplying it, so if we are multiplying 2 with 10, instead of multiplying it while saying 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, you can just add a 0. So it can be 20. The answer is 20. And it can be limited times. So it can be 2, okay, wait. Yeah, it can be 20 also. It can be 20 into 100. What will be the answer? 0 of 20 will definitely be there, and two zeros more, then it will be 2000, right? And it's not important that the numerator also should be 2 or ending with 0. It can even be 35. 35 into 10. So it will be just add a 0, 350. Right? Simple. Now this is how we converted it. Sorry. This is how we converted it in we converted fractions to decimals. Now in the next now we'll see how to convert fractions into percentages. Now what do we mean by percentage? First let us know that. So I'll just move this down and wait. First I'm going to add it over here. Uh, yeah, positive. Now we learned about fractions, decimals, and fractions to decimals. Right? I'll just make it a bit big for you. And yeah, now let us move to percentages. Now what we are going to do? Percentages. Now what does percentage mean? Percentage. What does percentage mean? Can anybody guess? Well, percentages, so as the name itself suggests, per cent. So I'll just break it down. Per cent. These are two different words which means every 100. So per means every and cent means 100. Every 100. So it is basically denoted from this symbol percent. Now where do we see this symbol? You must have seen this symbol while you are in the mall shopping. If there is a discount, they tell 25% off. Percent is there, right? So every 100. Now how do we relate percentage with our fractions and all? So percentage is like it is consisting of fractions. Now how does it consist of fractions? Let us solve a question for that. So let's say that the percentage of marks which you got in your final exams is 92%. Okay, so it is 92%. Now if you want to calculate how much it is in numerals, then how will we do that? Now it depends upon how much marks is the question of, right? So what I mean to say over here is, so 92%, sorry, how much did we score? Let me just check. Yes, we scored 92%. Now as I told, percentage means every 100. So this 92% is in form of fractions will be written as 9. This is in form of fractions. So what is it in forms of decimals? There are two places. It will be moving two places. So that would be 0.92. Perfect. So over here we get to know how percentage can be converted into fractions, can be converted into decimals. So this is it for today's video. In the next video, I'm going to show you how can we solve a question of percentage,